Joining me in studio, Hank Chardos, who is the Executive Director of Birthright of Columbia Incorporated, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Hi, Koko.
Give us a little bit of the history and your mission.
My wife and I co-founded Birthright of Columbia. Birthright is a pro-life emergency pregnancy service, wanting to assist women and girls who are faced with an unplanned or problem pregnancy. Services are free, services are confidential, because so often that woman or girl is without the birth father, and so we want to help. We begin by saying, welcome to Birthright, and then from there, getting a better understanding of who it is that is coming to the Birthright office or calling on the phone so that we could help them. Oftentimes, it's with an initial pregnancy test. And then from there, if the test is positive, then let's see what we're going to be able to do to help them with different resources in the community.
And you're located in Columbia, correct?
We are. We're at 1405 Gregg Street. We've been at that location. And it's not an office, it's a home. And that really was our mission when we looked at a place, so that when individuals come, they feel comfortable, they feel at ease. And so our efforts are not so much just to administer a pregnancy test, but to help the whole person, to see what other kind of needs. About a quarter of those who come don't have high school degrees. So Birthright pays for the GED expenses for that woman, as well as, if the birth father is involved, we'll pay for his GED expenses so that they could be a role model for their son or for their daughter.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. And you serve about how many clients per year?
We have over 500 individuals that contact us. We administer about, say, maybe 400 pregnancy tests, because then there's those who contact us who already know that they're pregnant. And so now what other kind of needs that they may have? Maybe it's maternity clothes, maybe it's baby clothes, or maybe it's just somebody to listen to.
Give us an example of someone who would call your office. Just give us a little synopsis of what would happen.
The demographics of our clients are those who are in their early 20s, unmarried, unemployed, without the birth father's support, without really even family support. And so our efforts are to open our hands and open our ears so that we can, in fact, find whether they're pregnant. And if they are, okay, let's talk about prenatal care. Let's talk about other needs, because even if you're married and being pregnant, it's a traumatic experience. But if you're not married, then this issue of being pregnant presents an awful lot of unknowns, and that's exactly what Birthright wants to be able to do, to give some assurances, to give an opportunity for them literally to get from day to day.
Okay. How long do you provide services for the individual? Is it just for maybe like the first trimester, or how does that work?
That's a great question, and it's going to depend on the individual. Last week I visited with a young lady who has a 3-month-old. So different situations, different circumstances. A lot of times, though, we'll find, Koko, that maybe not initially, but maybe within some months, they'll now become some family members that want to help. Maybe not initially. And so, but our efforts are continual, because once that pregnancy test is positive, something that they've been hiding, well, now all of a sudden they find out and have a confirmed pregnancy test. Now is when Birthright wants to say, how can we help you? What are the different things that you need?
Now, you did mention some of the services, like the GED assistance for the mom and the birth dad. And so if you would go into a little bit more detail about some of those services, because I'm not sure if many people know that this kind of a organization is out there.
At the top of the list would be prenatal care, Koko. And then right after that is prenatal care, so that the individual thinks and knows that there's two individuals that need to get care. There could be housing, there could be employment, there could be schooling, there could be a host of resources that an individual will have a difficult time either understanding what it is or what are the guidelines. So that's what we want to be able to do. We spend time to get a better understanding of what your needs are, so that we might be able to help with parenting classes. Maybe we can help with other programs that are designed to assist maybe a teen. Our efforts are to allow the mom and the baby to have a healthy pregnancy so that there's a full-term pregnancy, full weight for baby, and so that there could be an emphasis on breastfeeding, so that there's an involvement also, though, with the birth father and family members. And so when you asked before our involvement, the involvement is going to vary from person to person, but they know before they leave the office that we want to help. And that's what's so important. They will not know who we are, so this trust factor enters into the picture. And our trust factor is, thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you're here. Last week we had a student from Lower Richland High School that came with her grandmother. She hadn't seen a doctor for months into her pregnancy, so now we're helping her with resources in the community, as well as...
Was it because she didn't know that she was expecting, or...
She just put it off. She just
okay.
didn't want to disclose it. And so now what we want to be able to do is to thank the grandmother for her involvement, making sure that not only is the individual continuing with prenatal care, but what about schooling? What are your goals? So many things that if you're surrounded by support, you feel better. And that's really what Birthright wants to be able to do, have that net, those arms of saying, okay, we want to be able to help. And then depending on who wants to participate, we're going to just shake and bake and move on.
Right. I guess maybe for a woman, you would be afraid. You have that fear if you don't have any resources, you don't know where to go, so you don't know what to do. So it's very good that you guys have this program in place. Talk to us about volunteers.
The volunteers are the real lifeline of Birthright, Koko. They go through a 3-part training session, and then they come in 3 hours a week with another volunteer to answer the phone. Hello, this is Birthright. May I help you? Or to greet people who come in and see what's remarkable. What we do is ordinary and simple. There's nothing unusual. We have people from all different backgrounds. We have people from all different walks of life. They just want to be there as a mentor, to be able to listen, and now let's see how we can figure things out. So that office volunteer at the top of the list. But then there's other needs, and all of them relate to the mom, whether you want to host a baby shower, whether you want to make little booties. When we administer pregnancy tests, if it's positive, at the very, very end, we offer a basket filled with baby booties, and we say to the client, here's the first gift for your baby. So there's all kinds of avenues, whether it's getting an opportunity to talk to youth at Lower Richland High School, talk to a men's group, because unplanned pregnancies affect all of the community. It isn't just that woman who's oftentimes ostracized. It's everyone. So now let's everyone participate.
Now, if anyone would like to volunteer, what would they do?
They can call the Birthright number, 765-0165. They can access the website, birthrightofcolumbia.org, and then see the website has information providing them with different ways that they might want to volunteer. It's a great way for individuals or a group to come together.
All right. Now, you provide some of the maternity clothes, baby clothes. Where's all that stuff coming from?
It comes from heaven. A lot of it comes from people who know that their donations go directly to somebody in need. That's kind of neat, Koko. There's nothing in between. And so that's why, like that individual came with 2 little outfits, they know it goes directly to somebody. At the same time, what's important, Koko, when a client comes into our clothes room, they come only once. This is not come every Friday afternoon or Monday morning. We want them to help themselves.
So you actually have a clothes room.
We sure do. The clothes room is just a great way for someone to walk in and say, oh, wow. Because we'll get a call from somebody who's at the hospital ready to come home and says, I don't have an outfit or I need some diapers. And yet at the same time, we want her to help herself and to see what about family members, what about others in the community that can help her. And so the resources directly relinked to the individual who's there to get help.
Okay, a couple of other things. I noticed this pamphlet that you have that says every child deserves a father's footsteps to follow. And I thought that was pretty neat because a lot of times we kind of leave the dad out of this whole picture. So you want to talk about this endeavor?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking, Koko. I call because for 37 years, Koko, that pendulum has not swung. that birth father, I still call the absent parent, because out of 100 women that come to the Birthright office, only 10 will come with a birth father. But even then, that birth father is, in some instances, 5 miles behind, saying, whatever you want to do, or it's up to you. Well, he's the dad. So that brochure is a way that we can help the birth father discern through and figure out. And so we'll say to all of the women that come in, is the birth father involved in your life? And if so, you think he'd want to come in? Or do you want to have him call on the phone? Because his footprints are what that child is looking for.
All right. And if anyone would like to access these services or have more information about Birthright, or maybe even to volunteer or even to make a donation, give them a number that they can call.
765-0165. And then Birthright's website has a lot more information, birthrightofcolumbia.org. And I just thank you, Koko, for this opportunity to let the community know about Birthright.
All right. Hank Chardos, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
God bless you.